It's again yoga. It's Tuesday nights, yoga raw and real. And the interesting thing what we're going to talk about tonight is affecting all of us. And that is to love yourself. And why that is so important. You know, when the Bible says that you must love yourself, you love your neighbor like yourself, I could never understand that. Because why can you love yourself? You know, we've got this wrong picture of loving yourself. You've got to be the best of everything. You've got to be perfect. You've got to be that beautiful picture and the perfect person. Like I always thought I would never be a proper good person because I've got such a naughty spirit in me. I've got such a lot of things that I've got to deal with in my life. And I just condemned myself my whole life. But that's not what it is. What it is to embrace your authenticity, your uniqueness, the differences. You know, we are so inclined in society just to be fitted into a mold, and there is no such thing. Okay, so let's take a step back. I want you people to thumbs up or show me hearts or whatever when you think of something. I want to ask you, how many of you watched a YouTube video or a Facebook video of a dog that was cowling because it is so frightened of being touched by any human because it has been abused? Yeah? How many of you done that? I watch this all the time and it just breaks my heart to see how people can abuse animals. But how does that animal react? And then after somebody's taken them and they go to their forever home, how that dog has changed. It just becomes a total different dog. Do you know we're the same? The only difference is we don't reach out to each other that way. We don't observe each other when we're in pain. We don't observe each other when they have this situation where they just hate themselves for what they are. Thank you for those hearts. Thanks, mate. Keep going. I've just got news for you. Stay tuned because what I want to show you how important it is. You see, you can't get away from yourself. You can't get away from your ideas and your feelings and your thoughts about yourself because we can't trade ourselves in. We're always going to be with ourselves. That is a very strong point. When I interview somebody, I say, how can you be with yourself, alone with yourself? What thoughts come in your mind when you're alone? I'm not good enough. I don't fit this way. I don't have the confidence to do what that person does. You know what you're doing here? You're comparing. Siblings compare to each other. We're always comparing ourselves to this person and that person and the person that would be better than what we are. You know what I want to say to you today? You are good enough. Right now, you are perfect in who you are. You've just got to believe it. There is no thing as one mold fits all. We don't have to watch on the magazines and the perfect people or whatever. Do you know? We have to embrace exactly what we are. Now, many times you can't embrace who you are because of your limited beliefs in things that have happened to you as a child. Now, I just want to ask you something, to be truthful about certain areas in your life. You don't have to do it on screen, but just be truthful. I have experienced something at this age on Sunday night. For the first time, I found myself being vulnerable on the phone to somebody that on a level that I have never experienced before. For a moment, I was totally stunned about that. And I thought, why have I all of a sudden this feeling of insecurity? I started shaking. That person didn't know. They were just ministering to me, talking to me. I was shaking. The reason why I was shaking, I recognized I have never felt so vulnerable. And I was shocked because I'd always had this thing about me to protect me from that situation because of my childhood, whatever happened to me. And this, in this case, was abuse with my father. Amazingly, at this age, I figured this out. All of a sudden, something switched in me, and I realized I am now, for the first time, like a child. I could feel myself as a 3-year-old being totally open and vulnerable. And because I didn't recognize that feeling, I'd numbed that feeling and put it aside my whole life. I started shaking. Luckily, that person couldn't hear or see what I was really going through. But the truth is, I knew that I'd found the real me. You see, we are all the real you inside there. We've just got to find that. We've got to find our vulnerabilities and embrace it anyway. We've got to make mistakes. Because if your best friend, you go back to your best friend and say, well, what do you think? And they said, you made a mess up of it. Like what I've done in one of the talks or whatever. And they said, you made a mess up. But it's okay, next time you'll do better. It's okay, that is the key word. Do you know, it's okay to feel this way. But it's not okay to continue doing that. To breaking yourself down. To comparing yourself. To stop pushing yourself because you're frightened of doing things. You know, embrace the fear and do it anyway. That is what we say. The wonderful thing is, if you just trust that you can do it. I have experienced so much in my life, so many flaks, but one thing is I always get up again. Do you know that anybody that has had not flaks in life, I would say that would be ridiculous. We all have things happening in our lives which makes us regret certain things we've done, certain decisions we've made. With our children, do you know how many times I have thought to myself how I've missed it with my children? The secret was, as soon as I recognized it, as soon as I accepted the responsibility, my lie, my wrong decision, my being overzealous in a situation that caused a situation to happen, another situation which had a ripple effect on my children. And I mean, this really affects all of us. We make mistakes. Do you know what? One of the biggest things that I remember with my little granddaughter, she's now 12, but at that stage she was 3. She had a dummy in her mouth, and I'll never forget that little smell of that little baby breath. She had a dummy in her mouth because she just lost her father, and it was quite serious. That's why she still had a dummy. But she took her dummy out, and she kissed me, and she says, "It's okay, Oma. It's okay to feel like this." I thought, what a powerful word this little girl had said. She was comforting me because she was understanding in her own little way the pain I was going through at that moment. Never undermine or underestimate your children. The biggest thing you could do is teach your children to be adventurous. To let them go out and be themselves and to do what they need to do. To fall. To climb up this jungle gym. Yeah, you're already there to catch them, but let them climb up. Don't stop them. Give them confidence. Say you're a good girl, you're well done. I see my little 2-year-old granddaughter, 2 and a bit. My daughter has just sent me a WhatsApp of her singing Itsy Witsy Spider. She's standing there as if she's on stage and doing all these movements with us. And I just thought, she has such great confidence. It is the best thing. But you know why she's got confidence? Because her attachment to her parents is balanced. They push her out there, and if she falls or she feels unhappy or somebody has taken her toy, she could come back again. And she was nurtured. Now I want to say this to you. The reason why we often don't have confidence, or we actually don't like ourselves, there are things that have happened in our childhood that we have believed as an adult. I've always believed I was a bad person. Somehow, on Sunday, something shifted. It shifted so much in me that I just feel 3-year-old. It's actually it's quite exciting. Because you know, while I am counseling other people, I'm also getting. It's always a two-way street. It's so wonderful. And what amazing is to when you see something and it hits that little trigger that you react. It's okay to react. It's actually good. Recognize that reaction. Because then you start looking into that reaction. Because reaction is that you've got something that is triggering there. And that triggering is one of your unbeliefs in who you believe you are and you shouldn't be. I have so much to share with you. I've got so much to share on this topic of loving yourself and how and what and where. My website should be going up in this week. Those that are following me, please follow me on Facebook. I'm going to give you the link that you can go into my website. I'm going to be starting to really mentor people that they could have one-to-ones with me and they could actually talk openly to me. And you know, nothing shocks me because I have learned the hard way. It's okay. It's okay when we've made mistakes. And when we do something good, celebrate it. Celebrate it the way you can. Celebrate it and get other people to celebrate it with you. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop hitting yourself on the head for all the wrongs you've done. Now, when you do this with your children, the biggest thing a husband and wife could do is show respect for each other. To show love, the husband and wife show love and respect for each other. But also that what the child feels, show respect. Show that it's okay to feel that way. And when they're teenagers, get them to speak and say, I don't care how and what comes out of your mouth, but I want you to express it. There was a time when my son, who's now 44, he wouldn't express his feeling. He was so angry because I foster kids so many other children. He was sort of going down in the pecking line. And he was angry about that because he was always the man around in the house, right? And being a teenager, I didn't really recognize it. And I was so busy coping with all these things. But you know what? The day when I said to him, I want you to say what you feel. He says, no, Mom, I can't because it'll hurt you. I said, I promise you, it will not hurt you. Because I respect what you say, even if it is aimed at me. And by me respecting that, he came out. I'll never forget those muscles in his little arms and the way he shouted out, Mom, I hate what you've just done. I hate this and I hate that. And you know, and I mean, yeah, I did get shocked. But I was big enough because I realized the process works. I was big enough to say to him, that's okay. That's okay. I respect that you feel that way. And then we started healing that wound. Do you know it changed that he became really the strength in our family by me just recognizing his feelings. I want you to go to people that you love or respect, or people that are your best friends that will say it as it is. and say to them how you feel about yourself. And express it and get it out there. And let them say to you what they see about you. If you haven't got that friend, I'm here. On my website, you can book a call. We'll see. It'll be, most likely by Thursday, it'll be out. What I would like to say to you is, you will not be able to make a success in life unless you embrace the good and the bad and the ugly in you. We all have ugly. Do not put yourself into a form that everybody else puts you into, or what you put yourself into. And if somebody has done something bad to you, like my father had, I'd forgiven him long ago, but I never realized the remnant of what he'd done has affected something in my soul. And here at my age, at 69, that I discover, it's crazy, that's been released. Because as I'm doing these courses for everybody else, I am being released. I am finding that truth in me. And it's okay. I think we need to embrace our good and our bad and our ugly. Forgive ourselves. Forgive those that have done harm to us. And choose not to be in a mold. To be your unique self. To allow your children to be their unique self. To allow them to blossom in who they are. Give them encouragement even if they fail. You can't always win. Failure is actually winning. Failure is actually part of growing. Give yourself space to make mistakes. And give yourself enough time to heal. But don't ponder on those wounds. I'm a living testimony of not pondering on the wounds. Mike, you know that. I mean, you watching me. You know I'm not pondering on the bad. I ponder on the good. And I'm embracing my pain and I'm letting it go. I'm not coping. I'm thriving. How do we thrive? By loving yourself so that you could love others. Do you know you can't love? And now that comes back to the first thing that I said. You can't love somebody else unless you've embraced the good, the bad, and the ugly inside of yourself, forgiven yourself and let go, and allow yourself the space and the grace to grow into your authentic self. You don't have to compare yourself to anybody because nobody's like you. You are just great the way you are, and you're going to be okay. So talk to me, and connect with me on Facebook, and connect with me on my website. Please, I grow as you grow. Let's grow together, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not like this side of you and that side. I just want to say something that as a child, I was so this is very funny actually. I was so desperate to get all these freckles off my face because, you know, I'm a strawberry blonde and I had all these freckles, and those in South Africa, we had Karoo freckle cream at that time. Now that cream was so strong that I took a cotton bud and I put on every freckle. It took me ages, and then I slept on a pillow with 2 pillows on every side of my head to just make sure that this cream doesn't rub off at night. The next morning, surprise, surprise, all the freckles were standing out and all the color and pigmentation out of my skin was gone. So I had even more freckles. And I was 16 at the time, and I realized that's who I am. I'm embracing it. And it started, the journey came there that I'm okay just as I am. Make the best of myself. Embrace the funny part. Laugh at myself. Don't take myself seriously. And then just embrace. When things happen to you like it did to me the other day, and that person's watching, it's quite amazing how it has released me in such a way that I just feel like a 3-year-old ready to embrace life again. It's just amazing. Take the journey with me. I'm with you, and it's okay. Share this with your friends and talk to me. Bye for now.